Christian artwork in the late Middle Ages. Art courtesy of the Smithsonian Art Museum, Washington, D.C. Produced and narrated by Ronald Spence. The Nativity by Filippo Lippi, Florentine, 1406 to 1469. This piece of artwork we see, this is most likely Joseph and Mary together with baby Jesus. Mary is normally referred to as Madonna in the Christian faith, which is what most of this artwork is based upon. This is the Baptism, also by Filippo Lippi, Florentine, 1406 to 1469. This is also here showing probably mostly full submersion water baptism here. We've got the person in the water here and probably a priest getting ready to baptize him in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. And here would be another preacher talking to someone else. So all of these paintings are tempera on panel-based artwork. Tempera from the Middle Ages was made from egg yolks and pigment. Egg yolk was difficult to work with because it dries almost instantly. First, the artist would actually have to crack eggs and separate the yolk from the whites, as the egg white is too runny and would not stay on the panel. Secondly, the egg yolk would have to be mixed with pigments at various concentrations and blends to achieve the desired color and opacity. This is a Madonna and Child by Filippo Lippi, Florentine, 1406-1469. Again, this would be Mary and Jesus, but also they're saying is this is Madonna and Child. You can see that they've fashioned Mary and Jesus to look like themselves, maybe more like than what they probably would have looked like, considering the part of the world that Mary and Jesus actually came from. Okay, this is another Madonna and Child, I guess by Filippo Lippi again. See, again, it's Mary and Jesus, Madonna and Child. All of this artwork, like I said, is egg yolk. This is some of the oldest artwork that they had in the Smithsonian Art Museum in Washington, D.C., and it also is some of the best well-preserved artwork. Egg yolk-based tempera paint is very, very durable and lasts a very long period of time. You may be surprised to know that mercury, arsenic, and lead were commonly used in this area as pigments. Being an artist in this time period was actually quite hazardous. So to finish off this hazardous cocktail, artists predominantly used wine to thin the egg yolks and pigment mixture to keep it from drying out. Finally, the egg-based tempera dries hard and it cannot be used on a canvas. Therefore, all of these works that we're looking at here are painted on hard panels. Expansion and contraction, most likely due to heating and cooling, has caused small cracks in the artwork over time. This is the Adoration of the Magi, Giovanni di Polo, Nice, 1450. Another word for Jesus, the Magi. This would be, say, a depiction of what we would know as the three wise men visiting Bethlehem with the Star of David overhead. These are the three wise men right here, of course. And then we have Jesus pictured on Mary's lap, while one of the men is laying prostrate in front of Jesus, of course, then in adoration of the Magi. This is Madonna enthroned with the saints, Puccio di Simone, and also Allegretto Nucci. Here we can actually see now the Madonna, a Child, in the middle again. Again, this is Mary and Jesus. They are pictured with the saints. Now, I'm not Catholic, so I'm not sure who the saint woman on the right is. or all of the other saints that are pictured right next to Mary, or again also who is the saint on the left. Probably that's basic knowledge to anyone who is Catholic. Again, you can see the cracks, see the small cracks in here. Color and everything is well preserved, but there's some cracking, again, probably due to heating and cooling. Other than that, isn't it amazing that this piece of artwork, is actually as old as it is, up to as old as from 1315. Most artwork from this era is Christian in nature because the church was one of the only sources of income for these artists. In a society that laid great emphasis on religion and required religious images, artists performed an indispensable service and had to work within the structure of tradition. It is often assumed that such conditions would stifle the creativity, but thoughtful observation shows it's not so. The most ambitious illustrations of Christ's life show full-blown inventiveness, and even lesser works are also quite moving pieces as well. This is the presentation of the Virgin. Now, this is interesting to me because we see the Virgin with Virgin Mary here, very small girl-like figure in front of what seems to be church elders of some sort. It's interesting to me how small she is pictured. Maybe again it's just the fact of how meek Mary was, and probably just enhances the power of Jesus there. This is the Nativity of the Virgin, Andrea di Bartolo, Cenice, 1389-1428. This particular one here, it just to me seems like it is just picturing again Mary and Jesus surrounded by what may have been depicted as common day as Jesus was growing up as a child, constantly being surrounded by people of the church. Okay, this is the Madonna and Child, Andrea di Bartolo, Cenice, 1389 through 1428. When the actual year of the painting is not actually known, then they list the years that the artist was alive. Of course, then it would have had to have been created during that time span. For the ones that they do know the exact year of, which very few of them do they, it does say what the exact year is. Again, this is just Mary and Jesus together again. And I don't mean just, but there's a lot of Mary and Jesus here. And what's interesting about this is that what I'm showing you here is probably only about 25% of the artwork that's in the Smithsonian right now in this time period. And everyone should know John the Baptist, the person who, Saint John the Baptist, and he is also, for people who aren't Catholics, is what the Baptist Church based upon. John the Baptist even baptized Jesus himself. Very important picture, a person through all of Christianity. These artists were very gifted, and again, remember what they were having to work with. They did amazing work working with egg, just amazing. So this brings me to the end of it. I appreciate your viewing it, and like I said, this was only about 25% of the artwork from this era from the Smithsonian Museum, but all of the artwork from this era was Christian. Not one piece was not Christian, so that's why I decided to do the report on Christianity in the Middle Ages.